Israel versus Iran, the shadow war that just went nuclear. What comes next? Welcome back to IQD to VND News, where truth meets insight. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We're on a mission to reach 500 subscribers very soon, and your support makes all the difference. Now, let's dive deep into the spiraling war between Israel and Iran, a conflict that's no longer hiding in the shadows. June 13. The day the Middle East changed. On June 13, 2025, Israel launched a wave of unprecedented airstrikes targeting key components of Iran's nuclear infrastructure. These strikes were not just symbolic, they dismantled core parts of Tehran's nuclear weapons program and eliminated key military and scientific leaders. In response, Iran unleashed drone and missile attacks, retaliatory moves that some Israeli leaders are now calling grounds for regime change in Tehran. When asked whether Iran's supreme leader was now a military target, Israeli officials responded bluntly, "We're doing what we need to do." A tense history. From friends to enemies. Ironically, Iran and Israel once had diplomatic relations. After Israel was created in 1948, Iran was one of the first Muslim-majority countries to recognize it. Tel Aviv and Tehran had daily flights. Iranian oil flowed into Israel, and Iran's Jewish community thrived. That all changed in 1979. The Iranian Revolution replaced the pro-Western Shah with Ayatollah Khomeini, transforming Iran into an Islamic republic. Khomeini labeled Israel the Little Satan, a pawn of the Great Satan, the United States. The Israeli embassy in Tehran was handed over to Yasser Arafat and the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO. Iran officially positioned itself as the leader of the anti-Israel axis, calling on the Muslim world to unite against the Jewish state.
But allies when convenient.
Iran-Israel arms deal. Despite ideological differences, Iran and Israel cooperated during the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s. Israel secretly sold weapons to Iran, particularly American-made arms. Iran couldn't access due to sanctions. Why? Because both viewed Saddam Hussein's Iraq as the greater threat at the time. The war ended in 1988, but it had lasting effects on Iran. It accelerated missile development, it planted the seeds of nuclear ambition, and it made Tehran realize how isolated it was in the region. The nuclear ambition begins, though Khomeini initially rejected nuclear weapons as un-Islamic. His successor, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, changed course. "We need it now," he reportedly told Iran's nuclear scientists. Not just for energy, but for deterrence. Iran's nuclear journey had officially begun. Israel, meanwhile, has never confirmed its own nuclear arsenal. But experts believe the country has possessed nuclear weapons since the 1960s.
The rise of Iran's proxy network.
After the war, Iran turned its focus to regional influence. Tehran supported Hezbollah in Lebanon, 1982, Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza, 1980s, the Houthis in Yemen, 1990s, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, Shia militias across Iraq after the US toppled Saddam Hussein in 2003. This proxy network gave Iran indirect influence from the Mediterranean to the Persian Gulf, a network that Israel viewed as an existential threat. America and Israel, the unbreakable bond. Israel's security is tightly bound to the United States, which has provided military aid, intelligence support, and brokered diplomatic deals with Arab nations like Egypt, Jordan, and the UAE. While both countries viewed Iran as a major threat, their approach to the Iranian nuclear program sometimes diverged, especially during the Obama administration. In 2015, the Iran nuclear deal, JCPOA, was signed. It capped uranium enrichment and allowed inspections, offering Iran sanctions relief. President Obama called it a major step toward peace. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saw it as a disaster. The deal falls apart. Trump steps in. In 2018, under President Donald Trump, the U.S. withdrew from the JCPOA. Trump declared it one of the worst deals ever. Sanctions were reimposed. Then, in 2020, Trump ordered the assassination of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, an escalation that left Iran furious and isolated. Since then, Iran has violated more nuclear restrictions, enriching uranium dangerously close to weapons grade, hitting 83.7% in 2023, according to the IAEA. October 7, 2023. Hamas ignites the spark. Hamas's surprise attack on Israel was the deadliest in the nation's history. Israel responded with a full-scale war in Gaza, reportedly killing over 55,000 Palestinians. But it didn't stop there. In the following months, Israel attacked Hezbollah in Lebanon, killing its leader, bombed the Houthis in Yemen with U.S. support, assassinated Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, destroyed Iran's consulate in Damascus, backed the overthrow of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in 2024. Iran's entire regional proxy network was dismantled in just over a year. Israel's unmatched advantage. With Iran's proxies crippled and internal turmoil rising in Tehran, Israel struck on June 13, 2025. Iran's air defenses proved ineffective. Netanyahu's government has maintained the upper hand thanks to precision intelligence inside Iran, superior air power and missile defenses, advanced U.S.-made bunker-busting weapons if the U.S. gets involved. Still, Netanyahu knows his military ambitions can't be fully realized without American support. Will the U.S. join the fight? President Trump has demanded unconditional surrender from Iran, but also remains wary of new wars. His stance leaves the world guessing. To completely eliminate Iran's nuclear program, Israel likely needs help from the U.S., which possesses weapons capable of penetrating Iran's underground facilities. Yet regime change is a tall order. Ayatollah Khamenei has shown no willingness to back down. Analysis. Is peace even possible? We turn now to Professor Sir Lawrence Freedman, Emeritus War Studies expert from King's College London. Nothing is inevitable, but the fall of Iran's proxies, the isolation of its regime, and Israel's strategic dominance have brought this long-simmering war into the Ojral Mom. He points out that while Iran built its missile arsenal and backed militant groups for decades, those assets proved ineffective against Israel's fast, surgical military campaign. Even more troubling for Tehran, leaks and infiltration suggest that Israel has deeply penetrated Iran's intelligence services. They know where Iran's leaders are. They've taken out scientists, generals, and missile sites. That's terrifying for Iran, said Freedman.
Iran's regime at risk?
If Iran's regime collapses, it may not be due to Israeli attacks. Economic failure, domestic repression, and a growing population of frustrated young Iranians could bring the clerical regime down from within. It won't be Israel or the U.S. that overthrows the regime, Freedman notes. It will be Iran's own people. What now? A new Middle East or more chaos? This conflict is reshaping the region. Hezbollah is broken. Hamas is shattered. Syria has a new, more moderate government. Iran is isolated, but the Palestinian issue remains unresolved, and there's little appetite in Israel or Washington for a two-state solution. Whether this war leads to a new era of peace or deeper instability depends on the decisions made in the coming weeks. Final thoughts. The war between Israel and Iran has officially entered a new, terrifying chapter. As always, here at IQD to VND News, we'll continue to cover every twist in this unfolding global crisis. Stay informed, stay engaged. And if you haven't already, subscribe now to help us hit 500 subscribers and support independent geopolitical journalism.